Well, Bob Katter's Australian Party says it's received hate mail and threatening phone calls over a controversial anti-gay marriage advertisement that aired on television last night in Queensland. The advertisement targets Australian Greens leader Bob Brown and LNP leader Campbell Newman. Let's take a look.
How well do you really know Campbell Newman? Do you think he'll stand up for your family values? Do you think he'll really stand up to the Greens and other minority groups? Then think again. The LNP leader supports gay marriage, just like Greens leader Bob Brown.
I support gay marriage. I support gay marriage.
That's right, he supports gay marriage.
But the LNP leader does back gay marriage.
Well, I've said before that I support gay marriage.
Is a vote for LNP leader Campbell Newman a vote for gay marriage?
So that's the ad that aired in Queensland last night. The Queensland leader of Katter's Australian Party is Aidan McLindon. He joins us on the phone now. Aidan McLindon, good morning. Now,
Morning, Joe. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Campbell Newman over the weekend said that if the coalition wins government and it can repeal the civil union legislation, it will. What is unclear about that?
Look, I think what you'll see, Joe, is that Campbell for the last 8 months has not had a position on this whatsoever. He's actually had, of course, he'll tell the Christian lobby groups he'll have a look at repealing the civil unions. The reality is, he said on Meet the Press only yesterday that he's not going to consider it. He's been flip-flopping on this issue for so long now. I think it's about time that he answers some questions about what, in fact, both him and his party's position is on it.
Okay, do you think this is a big vote winner for you taking this tack?
Well, I think that we need to highlight the hypocrisy of the LNP leader. I mean, he's been saying one thing to one group of people and another to another group, and not just on this issue. I mean, it's hard to extract a straight answer on any issue from the LNP leader, and I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that he's actually trying to be everything to everyone, and in that process actually stands for nothing.
Could you have highlighted this issue in a more moderate fashion? Why did you pixelate the lower half of the photo of the two men standing together there embracing?
Oh, look, the artwork was done through head office and the production company, so I'm not privy to how and what was done there.
But you're the leader of the party in Queensland, so you'd see this ad before it goes to air. Why is that done? And we can see that shot there now.
I am aware that there was a mannequin of a female body. I'm just highlighting why we don't intend to change the definition of marriage between a man and a woman. And this isn't about people's sexuality; it's about changing the definition of what family has always been.
Yeah, but there wasn't a female mannequin there. It's just two blokes standing there and holding each other. And
that's the pixelated part.
Yeah. Why was that decision made to pixelate that?
You'll have to. I think the Media Broadcasting Authority obviously we're in talks with head office, so I'm not privy to why they had to pixelate that. But the reality is, what we've seen here is that this is not a Conservative party. This is the first time in Queensland history that they have a Conservative leader that promotes and supports gay marriage. And I think the Conservative voters, or the so-called Conservative voters, need to be aware that in fact is his position, despite both Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott being fervently against it.
Yeah, so it's your understanding that maybe the Broadcasting Authority insisted that you pixelate the men standing there? Yeah,
I'm unaware of why that was pixelated, but that would be a question for obviously the production company and head office.
Yeah. One of the gay groups in Queensland this morning has said what's actually most insulting about what's most insulting about it is the image of an older man with a younger man, which suggests that gay men are predators. In that ad, there is a picture of an older man with a younger man. Do you accept that that does suggest that?
Oh, look, I'm not going to comment on people drawing their own conclusions. I mean, if that's
you've put the ad together, and there's a discussion this morning about how the ad portrays gay people, as well as Campbell Newman's stance. And it's fair enough that we put these questions to you, and we can see that there's an older man with a younger man. Do you accept that suggests that gays are predatory?
No, I think, once again, I'm just saying if someone wants to draw their own conclusions or their own opinions, then obviously, that's their comment. I can't say whether or not they're correct, but the reality is, it's interesting to note that these, the gay lobby haven't realised that it's not about someone's sexuality. What it's about is about changing the definition of marriage, which we have the Tony Abbott on one hand being fervently against it, and then we have Campbell Newman publicly supporting it. And I mean, what does this party stand for? It's a social issue that's obviously of current political debate.
Yeah.
And I think the Conservative voters need to understand that they've backed the wrong jockey on this one.
And so why did you choose a photo of a significantly older man with a much younger man?
Oh, look, I don't know about the ages. I mean, that's probably detail you can talk to head office about, but the reality is I don't think it's about the different ages. I think it's about the hypocrisy that Campbell Newman has in saying one thing but doing another. And I think he's going to have to answer a lot of questions to all the Christian lobbies where he's been telling them otherwise.
Well, Carl Catter, Bob Catter's half-brother, I think, has said that this ad incites vilification of homosexuals, and other gay groups are saying that this feeds into a sentiment where you get people off the street just abusing other gay people because of this kind of sentiment that grows in the community because of images and ads like this. Do you accept that this could lead to other people or feed into that sentiment where members of the general community will vilify members of the gay community?
Well, I don't see how it would, given that all we're doing is merely studying a fact. And in fact, the image that's on television, the gay community has been quite openly using on all their ads in school bus stops. So they can't have it both ways. I mean, if they're going to put those images in our school children's bus stops, and on one hand, and then complain that it's used for a few seconds on an ad, then they've got to really sort out what position they're going to take on this argument, because it's completely flawed.
Yeah, and what kind of feedback from the community have you been getting on this?
Look, a lot of the community were completely unaware that they had a Conservative leader supporting gay marriage, and they're very concerned that this social policy, which is obviously of current debate now, is actually being championed by a supposedly Conservative party. Naturally, we're going to get a bit of hate mail from the very people who are accusing us of being haters. So it's quite interesting to see the whole twist when all we're doing is studying a fact, yet we're getting the hate mail from the very people accusing us of the same thing. So it's quite ironic, really.
And that hate mail, have you suggested that there's been some threatening contact with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Messages on the phone, texts, tweets. We expected that. They were never going to support the party. If that's their position, that's great. We're just saying, look, at the end of the day, this is what we stand for. We respect that you guys have got a differing point of view, but I think it highlights the fact that Campbell Newman for the last 8 months has been saying one thing and doing another, and the party's got real questions in terms of relation to what its position is on so many so-called conservative issues.
And there are some gay groups demanding you withdraw it. You're planning to run it for another week, definitely?
I assume that these are the same groups that complained when they withdrew the rip and roll ad from school bus stops, which once again I find ironic. On one hand they want it out there, and on another hand they don't. So really they don't know, they're flip-flopping on the issue. They've just got to say, look, this is our position. We can have a disagreement, but at the end of the day the question lies in Campbell Newman's court about, on one hand, how can you have Tony Abbott vehemently against it, and on the other hand, unprecedentedly in Queensland politics, we have a Conservative leader who publicly supports it. So these are questions that I think are of public interest, and certainly for those Conservative voters and Christian groups who think that they're getting something quite different than Campbell Newman's making out for himself to be.
Okay, Aidan McLindon, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Joe.